Hi guys, this is Dr. Modupe from Dokita Diary. I welcome every one of you to this episode of Dokita Diary. Tonight we'll be talking about sexual health disorder in men. Before I continue, for those of you that have not seen our videos before, we're on Facebook, Instagram. You just need to click on the follow button, and on YouTube you can subscribe to get notifications for all our wonderful videos, and we also write very educative articles. So back to our topic, sexual health disorder in men. I'm going to start by sharing a story of my personal experience recently with us. So this young, newly wedded man came to the clinic. Doctor, there's an emergency. I looked at him, emergency? He said, yes, doctor, my thingy is not working. Okay, I said, thingy? I'm pointing down below. He said, doctor, my willy is not working. Just to make sure we are both on the same page. I said, okay, when you say thingy, willy, are we talking about your penis? And this young man was so embarrassed. I could see him literally trying to sink into his chair by the fact that I called the name of his sexual organ, penis. So for the sake of those of us who are here, I'm going to be using thingy a lot just to make all of us comfortable with this discussion. So back to the story of this young man. At the end of the day, in his own case, it was actually nothing. It was just a case of a very overzealous, newly wedded young man, coupled with the lockdown, trying to make sure he impresses his new bride, and was going on the 4th round for the day. And Tingy decided, no, Mr. Man, I'm too tired. Anyway, on a more serious note now, a lot of us find it very difficult to talk or seek help when we suffer in our sexual health. And that is because it's something so personal, something so private, and we find it very embarrassing, very uncomfortable discussing it even with our doctors. And sometimes we leave this problem to linger on until it starts affecting our relationship or even affecting our emotional and mental health. Just like we seek help for our physical health, there is no harm. There is no cause for shame or embarrassment to seek help when we think we are suffering in our sexual health. Sexual health disorder can happen to men, can happen to women. It can affect men of different ages, even though it seems to be more common in older men, but anybody can be affected by this. Statistics have shown that 1 in 10 men have sexual health disorder. And at every point in time in a man's life, almost every man suffers with sexual health problems. Now, most times this is not a big deal. But sometimes when this persists and linger on, it becomes a problem. So what is the sexual health disorder? Like the definition, sexual means relating to sex. Health is just our general well-being. And a disorder means something not functioning right. So anything hindering you as a man from enjoying sex, from having a quality sex as you want to, is a sexual health disorder. This can come in different forms. It can be as a result of an erectile dysfunction. That means the ability to start or sustain an erection. It can be as a result of ejaculation problems, for instance, premature ejaculation. It can even be as a result of low libido, poor sex drive, just inhibition of the person's sex drive. And so many things can be responsible for this sexual health disorder. I'm going to classify the causes into under 3 main headings. So one, we have the physical causes. When we say physical, that means that something either affecting the sexual organ itself, that is the thingy, like we have said, we will use it, or maybe something within the body resulting into the sexual organ, the thingy not working fine. And it could be as a result of psychological causes. When we say psychological, that means there's actually no problem physically. It's right here in our mind. And sometimes it could be as a result of both physical and psychological causes. Some of the physical causes that can cause people to have sexual problems include things like certain medical condition, like people with heart disease, diabetes, people with even sickle cell disease sometimes, and sometimes certain medications can induce this in people. And we also have some lifestyle factors that can contribute to this: excessive alcohol, smoking, taking certain medications like steroid. These are things that can affect the physical part functioning of our sexual organ. And psychological, certain situations in life can actually tip some men into not being able to sustain an erection or even have an erection at all. For instance, when they are very stressed, when they are depressed, change in relationship or problems in relationship at home. I want you to imagine a man who is not happy with his wife. Maybe there are some challenges going on. He's not likely to be interested in having sex. That's the truth. Even if he wants to, he's probably not, because he's not happy emotionally. He's probably not going to be able to have an erection on time. And these are some of the things that can actually make people not have an erection. And like the third one is a mixture of both of these things coming together. But at the end of the day, at every point in time, every man or almost every man has had some of these problems. Usually it is nothing serious, but when it is persistent and it keeps happening, then it becomes a problem. And at that point in time, we need to seek help with our doctor before it gets worse, before things get out of hand and begin to affect our relationship or even affect us in our mental health. Your doctor will have a chat with you. We look into the possible causes, have a discussion with you. Some of it may just be a change in behavior, like if it is due to stress, depression, and things like that. And sometimes your doctor may need to carry out some investigations. For instance, your hormone level in the body, testosterone, is that okay? Is it enough? And see if there are things that can be reversed, things that can be managed, and then it will be taken care of. But if you keep quiet, you are never going to find out why you are having this problem. And the more it lingers on, the more it gets worse, because psychologically, it might be a physical problem that the doctor can manage, but you've not spoken out, it becomes psychological, and it becomes a vicious circle. So I just want to encourage us tonight that if you're suffering in your sexual health, please don't be ashamed to talk to your doctor about it. Just like we talk to our doctor when our physical health is suffering, your doctors are there to support you, to help you, to investigate and find out the causes of some of these problems and make sure it is resolved. I hope we've been able to pick something from today's topic. Until we see again, it's me, Modupe, your very own grassroots doctor at Dr. Diary.